Today we're going to learn how to multiply two-digit by two-digit numbers. And this is pretty easy when you think that what we're really doing is we're saying 24 times 2 and then the value of the 3 we know is 30 plus 24 times 30. And that's pretty easy to do, right? So we can just solve it like this. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. We get 48. Now we solve this one. Now we know that an easy thing to do with the 0 is just slide it down. And now it's gone. And we can just multiply easily this way. 3 times 4 is 12. Put down our 2. We're going to carry our 1 up here. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So now we have two answers. We know what 24 times 30 is. It's 720. And we know what 24 times 2 is. It's 48. But the question is, what is 24 times 32? So how do you think we're going to find that answer? We know that 24 times 2 is 48. And we know that 24 times 30 is 720. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to add these two amounts together. We're going to add 720 plus 48. And that will give us the answer to what is 24 times 32. So 8 plus 0 is 8. And 2 plus 4 is 6. And then we have 7. So the answer to what is 24 times 32 is 768. So one way that we can multiply two-digit by two-digit numbers is we can break up that bottom number, this number right here. We can break up this number into the ones place and into the tens place. So the 2 becomes over here, 24 times 2. And then the 3, we know the value of 3 is 30, so it becomes 24 times 30. We get two different answers, 720 and 48. And then we have to add them together. We have to put them back together and add them together in order to get the correct answer, which is 768. Let's go ahead and try another one. So let's take this number. We'll take a little bit more challenging number this time. We'll say, what is 45 times 34? And I want you to copy this problem with me in your notebook. And it's very important that when you are doing this type of multiplication, where you're multiplying by two digits, it's very important that you take your piece of paper, right? You have your piece of paper here. And what I want you to do is I want you to turn your paper so it's sideways. So you have the rings at the top here. And you have the lines going vertically up and down like this. And the reason why I want you to do that is because when you do this, when you turn your paper sideways, then you get these beautiful vertical lines, and then you want to make sure to write your numbers inside the lines. That prevents you from getting confused. Okay, so I'm going to just erase this so I have more space. All right, so coming back to our problem, 45 times 34. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split up this bottom number, this 34. So the value of the ones place in 34 is 4. And then we know the value of the 3 here is 30. Okay, so I've just split up 34 into 30 plus 4 because we know 34 equals 30 plus 4. And then I take my top number right here, and I need to keep that number the same. I do not split up my top number. This always stays the same. So this becomes 45 times 30, and over here this becomes 45 times 4. And then I'm going to solve for each, and that's very, very, very easy. So I am going to solve this one first because this is very fast. So I go 4 times 5 is, you're right, it's 20. So I put the 0 down here and I carry my 2. And then I say 4 times 4 is That's right, it's 16. And then I don't forget to add my 2. So 16 plus 2 is 18. So 45 times 4 is 180. So this is a multiplication sign. 45 times 4 is 180. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and just do the next one. Now, I know that a shortcut I can take when I am multiplying by a number that ends in 0 is I can just bring the 0 down right there. And then I cross it off and I'm done with it. So then I can say, what is 5 times 3? So 5 times 3 is 15. And I'm done with that. And I have to carry my 1. And I'm going to go ahead. And because there's 3's here, I'm going to actually put my 1 up here on top. So I'm going to write plus 1 up here. So I'm going to go 3 times 4 is, that's right, it's 12. 12, and I can't forget this one here. 12 plus 1 is, that's right, it's 13. So 45 times 30 is 1,350. But remember, my problem is this right here. 45 times 34. It's both of them. So this is not my answer. This by itself is not my answer. And this by itself is not my answer. What do I need to do to get my answer? I need to add these two together. I have to add 1,350 plus 180. And when I add them together, I get the answer. So 1,350 plus 180. 0, 5 plus 8 is 13. Carry my 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Put that down here. And then 1. So my answer is 1,530. And that is my answer. And I got that answer once again by adding 1,350 plus 180. I have to add them together. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another example. And in this problem, we have, let's make this really hard. We'll say 48 times 67. That is a hard one. And once again, you should have your multiplication chart with you because you will need it. It will help it to go faster. So once again, we can break 67 into 60. It's the value in the tens place. And 7, that's the value of the ones place. And then the top number, 48, it just stays the same. 48 times 60 and 48 times 7. And then we just multiply very easily. We'll start over here with the 7. So 7 times 8 is, what is it? Very good. It is 56. Carry my 5. I'm going to put my 5 up here and circle it. And then 7 times 4 is 28. And then I have to remember to add the 5. Sometimes kids get in trouble because they forget to add what they had to the remainder. Not the remainder, what they had to put over. So 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 5 is 33. Now, if you need a little bit of practice with that, you can always use this space down here as your working space. So if you didn't remember what 28 times plus 5 is, you could just go 28 plus 5. And then you can work that problem out here. Okay? Some people can do it in their minds. Some people need to do it on paper. And either way is okay. Either way is okay. All right, so 48 times 7 is 336. So now I'm going to go ahead and solve my next one. And once again, I can see that this 0 is, I can just bring it right down. There it goes. Cross this off. And then multiply the rest. Now it's just 48 times 6. That's super easy. 6 times 8 is 48. So I carry my 4 and I put it up here. That is a plus 4 right there. It looks like a 14, I know. But it's really supposed to be a plus 4, but it's just not drawing correctly. Okay, so 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 4, not 14, but plus 4 is 28. All right, so 48 times 60 is 2,880. So my next step is I need to add these together, right? Because it's not 48 times 60, it's not 48 times 7, it's 48 times 67. So I have to add these together to get my answer. So I'll just do it right here. 2,880 plus 336. Adding them up. 0 plus 6 is 6. 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry my 1. 8 plus 3 is 11 plus 1. Do not forget what you had to carry. 11 plus 1 is 12. Carry my 1 again. Circle it. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. So my answer is 3,216. Now, sometimes kids ask, is there a way to check our multiplication just like there's a way for us to check our division? And the answer is that there really isn't an easy way. You could try to divide it, but it's actually really difficult at the 4th grade level. So Mrs. Dorkin and I always recommend that kids do the multiplication problems twice to check that they're accurate. So now you're going to practice and see how you do. Good luck.